Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Pillar Talk. This is the Corpus God, where God is best for you and your partners. Chat, well, God's still best for you. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Corpus God. If you're just joining us, you know the drill already. Start, share the program, and invite somebody. And guess what? Invite the spouse as well. Send a link to somebody. Because this evening I will talk of the things there. I'm going to talk about a topic that, boy, you know, I normally not take guilt. You know, I not say the man is guilty about it. I think this is a topic for the man. You know, I think somebody draw it out this morning to talk about itself. And I've never talked about it. It's going to be hard, but I promise to be candid and see how best we can address it. Because the idea is not to run from. The idea is always to do the right thing. So the rock can come in, man. Up and running. Just go ahead and share, like, and invite. Let them know we're on the side. And we are going to be talking openly and candidly this evening about the answer. All right? So just come on in this evening so we can get started and get right into the discussion. All right? Yeah.
Grab your glass, red white rose sparkling to cheers with the darling. Now get a pillow, light and bed. Clock into the couple's corner. Clock into the couple's corner. Everyone, yeah, it's time for pillow talk. Big pillow talk, pillow talk. Big pillow talk, pillow talk. It's pillow talk. Grab your glass, a little wine, red, white, rose, sparkling to cheers with the darling. Now get a pillow, light and bed. Clock into the couple's corner. Clock into the couple's corner. Everyone, yeah, it's time for pillow talk. Big pillow talk, pillow talk. Big pillow talk, pillow talk. It's pillow talk.
Good evening to you, lady father. Come on in. Good evening.
Clock into the couple's corner. Clock into the couple's corner. Everyone, yeah, it's time for pillow talk. Pillow talk, pillow talk, pillow talk, pillow talk. It's pillow talk.
Watch it, man. Listen, people. We don't need to come in this evening. Okay, watch it. Listen, my man. Listen to me. Listen to me. That topic kind of, I don't know when Nelly are going with. I don't know when Nelly are going with. You think
It's relevant.
Nelly is out to get me. I think Nelly is out. Nelly, what have I done to deserve this kind of put on the spot to I don't know, I love talk honestly already. So we can't go even pretend properly. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Pillow Talk, where tonight I think that the ladies have targeted the men. And unfortunately, unfortunately,
Unfortunately and fortunately.
right. I am a man up here leading. And I go have to say, some of them things are amen and are true. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be discussing the important topic this evening, stonewalling. That's what we're talking about. We want to look at what the research is saying. We want to look at the practical saying, and we want to look what the Bible said. And we want to leave here with solutions. But there can't be no solution until there's honesty. And sometimes honesty brings some tears. I don't know why Daniela look for me saying, no. People don't like how Daniela look. Yo, my girl, stop look for me. Sure. You know what? Sure.
To the end of time, came to me like the dawn through the night, just shining light.
Before you admit honesty to some things in your life, you have a nice tune.
Like the sun.
Right now, I'm stonewalling. I'm trying to avoid some things.
My dreams heading to the moonlight. You are the one. You are.
Right now, me a stonewall. Come here to make sure the wife knows say she is the one.
The one.
Sometimes we give a chocolate a really stonewall or a stonewall.
You but I lied. It's the same that I feel inside. Said I love you, but I.
Sometimes, gentlemen, you we are talking about, because sometimes an extra champagne is to avoid the real matter at heart. But today, let everything become clear and let everything become transparent.
It's like I ever feel so strong.
Yeah.
Said I love you, but I lied.
Oh.
With all my soul, I tried and vain. How can your words, my heart explain? This test of heaven, so deep, so true. Found you. So many reasons and so many ways. My love was just begun. Need you forever.
Sometimes you can't honestly stonewall. Mean nothing at all, but you just a stonewall.
I need you to stay. You are the one. You are the one.
Ladies and gentlemen, what is stonewalling? And what's the effect of stonewalling? This evening, DJ Robdon is in the building. Alongside Lady Robdon.
You, but I lied. Cause this is more than I love you inside.
Me not love when that topic you go force me to be honest though.
Said I love you, but I was wrong.
Yes, when you have a support like my wife, you can be honest.
Good evening to you, Verona Hills. Welcome to the corner, Lady Holders. Watch this evening we're listening.
You came to me like the dawn to the light, just shining like the sun. Out of my dreams and into my life, you're the one, you're the one.
As you come on inside this evening, we'll be talking about stonewalling. If you know what stonewalling is, go ahead and let us know in the comment section.
Said I love you, but I lied.
You know, no honest discussion is easy to have, but it is good for you.
This more than I feel inside.
As we look at it, we look at it with the intention that you can be helped.
I said I love you, but I was wrong. Something never ever feels
A good evening, Lady Kimberly.
so strong. Said I love you.
Rock and coming at the place in a man.
This is more than
Your name Soft Rock.
I feel inside. I said
Watch it, man. Just come on in.
I love you, but I lied.
Just take it easy on a Sunday afternoon. Listen, man, this evening we intend to have a good time in the place. Watching out. Ladies and gentlemen, tell me how she has. No, I don't know what true. Girl, I don't know how to even begin to imagine my life without you. Me don't know. Me don't know. Me don't know. Me don't want to wake up in that morning there. Girl, I don't want to live without you. I'm serious, you know. You're serious? Hold on. You want to live without me? Just tell me for now, because me know what, why am I tell him? Not busy so you're miserable, you know. Me just, yeah. We do a good team. Yeah. Come to man, you can't give me a look. Yeah, chat. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the Pillar Talk. This evening, we are here to talk about the topic stonewalling. That's what we're talking about this evening. So if you know what stonewalling is, just go ahead and comment in the comment section so we know that you're here and you're ready. That's what we want to talk about. And unfortunately, you know, is a topic where going to force me to be candid and be honest. It's a topic that's going to force me to be upfront and be honest. And you know what? Sometimes some discussions can be difficult, but they are necessary. And we begin to start winning the moment we start looking at things from an honest perspective, you know. And so, for the persons who are just joining in and thinking about it, I want to quickly go ahead and start kind of like tell you what is it that we are really considering, or what are we talking about when we talk about stone walling. All right. And so stonewalling is seen as a situation or a scenario in which one partner, yes, is withdrawing from the conversation and stopping to engage. And so I as I reflected on this evening, I sort of look at all that stonewalling entails. I have to start honestly assess myself and assess some of the things we do.
Today,
Um,
shutting down.
exactly. I hear shutting down, but sometimes what is more obvious yeah, is not really the problem. There's sometimes there are some other things that we're doing. So to avoid a particular conversation or to avoid dealing with something, sometimes a way to stonewall is an extra date. Sometimes it's becoming extra nice just because you don't want to deal with the actual situation. And
So it's
so
any form of avoidance.
anything exactly of avoidance. So if I'm doing something that I think my wife like and something that is just going to cheer up just because there's a real issue on the ground and I don't want to address that real issue, the reality is that that is actually stonewalling. It's a form of avoiding, you know, certain important issue for whatever reason it is, and especially when it comes on to us men. Most time we say we are avoiding for peace sake, or we just not do it because we want peace to reign. But is that always the right way though? Right?
Today, confessing, Lord, I'm so guilty of this sometimes. Lord, forgive me. Oh.
No, it's true. Like I thought this evening and I thought I escaped because every time I get a topic, and by the way, I don't choose topics. My very good friend Nelly choose
The coordinator.
coordinator challenges us with these topics. And I couldn't come out here honestly and behave as though whether directly or indirectly, I have not also
You
engaged
are not excused.
yeah, I'm not excused. At one point or the other, there must have been
At
something
many points.
at many points. But it's important we have these solid discussion. So it's any form of trying to withdraw from a conversation and trying to avoid a conversation. Now, mark you, sometimes we do have a good motive why we're doing this. There are at times it may just not be the right moment to talk. At a point, you may be dealing with other things and just don't want to face the emotional repercussion at that particular time. But the reality is, do we come back around and actually address these things, or do we just move on like it never happened? And we never revisit the situation. And so with stonewalling then is where we leave the thing with no intention to return. All right. And so this can have a lot of repercussion for a relationship. All right. So stonewalling then can be expressed in different ways, as I mentioned. Turning around and looking away can be a form of 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 stonewalling. So having a conversation like this, and all of a sudden it no longer interests me or something my wife said that me not really agree with, and me just turn myself away and start. And
No,
the
it not
truth.
even have to be turning away. It can be going on social media and playing something very loud.
Yeah, or just go watch TV. I call a family movie night and just go over there and watch TV. It's better me deal with this than actually dealing with the actual
And
situation
for
at
the
hand.
person that is putting up the wall, the block, they doing major person in the avoidance and stuff. For them, they might think that okay, I'm doing this to not create that escalated,
Right.
front. But then for the person on the receiving end,
That's where it is.
it it is different.
Yeah. Right. Because I remember
You remember?
earlier
Hmm.
in my God. Yeah, it's that's why me now come back with that come have no more discussion with you while I in
You
discussion.
remember?
Sure. Can know you're gonna make people talk up things, sure.
Hmm.
But I remember early in our marriage that there are some times that I don't want to really deal with the issue, to be fair. I mean just jump in my car and drive go a camp.
And the
And
speed.
and the speed too. We can't be once,
Are
my
you a
girl.
talk?
You can't make past that confess for international TV. Yeah, I've had to do that. Well, I've done that, and I think one time I had a
You have had to
serious.
do that. You've
No,
done.
I've done that. It's not have had. It's I've
Mm.
done that. Um, I remember I seriously had a conversation with another soldier of mine. That's why it's very important we have persons who can help to shape our perspective. There's a serious discussion I had with the last time I did something like that. And my colleague said to me, Robertson, listen to me, man. You know, on your way over here, you could have dreamed so hard and you probably never reach. And you never ever get back home to go actually tell the people and say they actually love them. You see? And just started to show me some sense of perspective, how important it is to better deal with, handle, resolve the thing rather than to try and avoid. And I think in the same breath of time, I had a colleague who, obviously was married, had some problem with his wife. And he went and decided he was going to go to, the garage. Went to the garage, was test driving his car that day. An argument escalated between him and someone, and he decided to drive off. And the end result is that he ended up on that truck. He was dead. You know what I mean? And never got a chance to go back and and deal with this. So what we're saying is that stonewalling can manifest in different ways, and in every way it is not the best way to deal with or to resolve any form of conflict. All right, so it may come in the form of turning away even in a conversation. Sometimes it's a silent treatment. So everything persons ask, I have nothing to say, I keep them out or nothing to add. That's also a form of stonewalling. Some persons physically leave the room, leave the space, as I said,
Go
leave the
sleep
home.
on floor in a couch.
Some people go sleep on floor, some people sleep head and tail, and we say all of those things aren't necessarily the way to handle and deal with these things. Some people refuse to answer or even to talk about the issue at hand, the thing that is bothering them. Some people yell to stop the conversation, or some people simply just shut down the other person. Yo, stop talking, and I talking. Me don't want to hear nothing at all. Where I say. At some point, we all find ourselves guilty in these. Once you have to have a relationship, there are going to be times where you have difficult discussions to have, difficult conversation to have. And the tendency of us most times is to find a way to avoid the conversation. And if we're trying to avoid the conversation, it is not healthy. In fact, the research shows only that stonewalling always lead to separation and may
Divorce.
lead to divorce if not treated and if not dealt with. It has a lasting impact on the union. People fall out of love. Sometimes when I hear people say we're falling out of love and I'm no longer attractive to XYZ, it's because of those things. Because each time you stonewall is a form of saying, I want to be independent of you. You don't matter that much to me. And so that kind of bond starts to start to destroy the union itself. All right.
The stonewalling can cause
Exactly the
issues
wholeness.
to blow up like a volcano.
Exactly, because sometimes we avoid things today, and as we continue to go through life, and more things is added to that, what we find ourselves doing is exploding. And so sometimes the reason why we get so upset in the end and decide if we have to tell people we mind is because we have a combination of activities that have been going on that we have not dealt with. So we have to then, I think tonight, the call is then to look at ourselves and say, boy, me have to look if I'm doing this. And whatever the motive, I have to build that sense of trust in my relationship that we can have the discussion. Yeah, a true man. I myself may talk to him. Stonewalling often happens, yeah, often as a consequence of flooding, such as a feeling of overwhelmed, all right, a feeling of an overwhelming circumstances, something that we'd rather not focus on, all right, and so and said and so with stonewalling, rather than exploding, we then implode. So it's not that there's no implosion. It's just not an explosion, it's an implosion. So You don't explode outside causing massive problems, but it does not mean that there's no problem happening on the inside, right? Yeah, it doesn't mean that. So that's something we have to we have to look at when we talk about stonewalling. Now, interestingly, and this is the part that really get to me, is that research really shows that men are usually best at stonewalling. Now, normally, me come out here and run a little thing and me say to the persons that a woman do it, and tonight me I take the blame. This thing is a man thing, and I think that men need to come up because I see it so much time, so many times that me can't avoid. I think women do stonewall at times, but men are better stonewallers. I think we have become expert at it. It was
When women do it, you guys can't
it,
handle it.
yeah. But I think it was framed out in our gene. It's a way of protecting our ego and promoting and promote our self-interest and show our importance. Sometimes when men are stonewalling, they just want to feel valued and want to feel like them little bit more than what them actually is.
So you want the aim is for the woman to come and
Yeah, the woman to come and show some special attention and come round and honey, yeah, I give her all a nice hug and yeah, all right. So sometimes that's what the men actually want and do, and so you know so one thing we want to establish is that criticism, contempt, and defensiveness are gender neutral. Anybody can actually, you know, criticize and of course become defensive in a particular situation. Whereas this is true, yeah. The research shows that 85% of stonewalling cases, those that have been spoken about and discussed, man guilty. And so, no, listen, even without the research, I'm not supposed to know the first me I come out here and so guilty. No, the,
you can just talk about the mugshot.
yeah, me guilty. Just take me picture. Because I think that men have done that. I see it everywhere. I see it. Men have a thing that we just say, yeah, we avoid that thing and just lower that thing and lower it out. But that's true. We are more, and I think that's why, we are likely, you know, to when we explode, it explode. But because I think the implosion start inside.
Implosion.
Yeah, it implode. Yeah, it start. It's like something that burn from inside and then it becomes outward. So when it bursts out, it
Really bad.
it really bad. When it comes like they don't call for Lady Paula. Lady P, come talk to it. So why is it then that men are more likely to engage in this form of stonewall? So part of it is the man's upbringing and socialization,
Men
but
don't
another
want to
part
talk.
is biological makeup. It is said that women produce milk. You produce milk, okay?
Yeah, men will produce milk too.
It is said, well, not the normal one. It is said that women produce milk, and when they do, they become more relaxed because of a hormone called oxytocin,
Oxytocin.
oxytocin or whatever. It flows down their brain, and so they become more soothing. That's why a woman can explode in 5 minutes but soothe in 2 minutes. Yeah, you know, yeah, yeah. Good, right? So self-soothing is believed then to be a lot more advantageous in this, and they believe that biologically women are more likely to do that. Only are you that? Yeah, yeah. But men instead are more likely to become wild, and of course, them decide two things. Two things them decide about. Man have told one side I'm brain at work. And the
Mm.
one side says either you fight or flight. And none are good. So most times the man chooses not to fight, but he takes the flight. Yeah. So you remember them rush back to camp. Yeah, I think but I try to avoid the fighting and take the flight. Unfortunately, none of these responses are positive and none of them are classified as being safe. So what we are basically saying on this platform is that we have to all evaluate ourselves and look where we're at and what are we to be looking at evaluation because that's how we're doing in PV, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so it's a matter of evaluating ourselves and seeing if we're that kind of person. So, as I said earlier, that there are different people why different reasons why persons stonewall, right? Or a man stonewall. I'm going to talk about the man them because man me talk about tonight. A man stonewall because him can't take it no more. It's called honest flooding. True. Sometimes we are overwhelmed. No man wants to feel like them not have it under control and like we don't have it together. So the likely, let me just get away from this where I can become in charge again, where I can feel like I am in control. And so we try to take ourselves away from the situation. And so a skillful wife have to recognize that the partner is really, honestly, going through an overloading. And so a response to this from a partner might be empathy and understanding, trying to put yourself into the footstep of that individual, looking at it from their perspective. If it's a man will love feel like him have things together that he's organized, and all of a sudden his life become discombobulated, things just unstructured. Yeah, what I mean? Wife argue, children are ball, bills not pay. That man don't want to talk because that man start to feel like he's not a real man. And if and again, it's an ego thing, you have to protect me. Whereas let it feel.
Come there.
So it's called honest flooding. All right. And so the truth is sometimes we are really going through that. And on the flip side, it can be that the person is willingly hurt, yeah, or willingly trying to hurt the partner or to win an argument. Now that one there is bad. Now we call this one a power move. Some people just want to win the fight. You know what I mean? And and I've said this and tons of times that boy, listen to me. I said to my wife, listen, you gotta decide now, you gotta live with me forever. You must decide if you want to live in peace or you want to just be right. Because trying to win the fight or at any cost you'll step, you'll hurt, you know and that's why they say hurt people, you get what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm going to do this to you without any consideration of your heart and how this have an impact or how it actually have. Why don't you laugh so? Watch it, I like how you laugh side of me. I might get up, No, the next reason why a man might find himself stonewalling is because of fear or unwillingness to vulnerably engage. And it is called the avoidance strategy. But don't if me talk about it, I go ball. I mean, I want nobody to be a ball, because real man don't ball. You get what I'm saying? If me talk about it, I go feel like when mama say me a mama man. So me not talk about that thing here. Not deal with it, just I leave it alone. And somehow we leave these things alone, hoping that things will become better. The reality is that thank God we have understanding spouses who sometimes really help us to make things actually better, right? But don't ever think that by itself, leaving it alone is going to make it better. Some of us are blessed with good spouses who, try to see that, we just have go through a moment. Yeah. Now, the other reason why some men might find themselves stonewalling is a feeling of complete powerlessness. Now, if you know anything about a man makeup and him design,
Mhm.
him never want to feel like you can't do without him. Let me tell you this. I'm talking to some of my very strong, outgoing, educated, empowered women. It's no fault of yours. But but there's this thing, and I think men has to come to grips with dealing with
Men
it.
have to.
Men have to come to grip with this. Is that if it becomes uncomfortable if you feel like say the woman can do without you. And that's why you hear some fool statements like me no want no educated woman and me no want no this one. All there is that is happening is a young man who has
Yeah,
his
it's a power
emotion
struggle.
messed up. Yeah. And he's thinking that boy, if this woman a earn more than me not have nothing no buy him because he wants to be in the place where he
Wow.
feels relevant. If you can cover the bills on your own and you can get up and live on your own, in his mind, it's like then me not have nothing for whole heart.
You feel
He
insignificant.
feels insignificant. Those are the things. And so that's why a woman can live with a man and not do anything and still be good and progressive. It's hard for a man to do that. So a man struggle in that kind of area, you know? Yeah, Lady P, excellent. Stonewalling can also be as selfishness in communication, but it's always been selfish, really and truly. It doesn't matter what the motive is, there's a selfishness to it. It's about trying to make the situation about me, trying to promote my self interest and my self importance rather than the other person. And that's why I feel like I can satisfy myself by avoiding or just now get into the conversation. Most times, behind it, there's a selfish, this selfish desire, Yeah. So that's true, Lady P. Yeah, man. Another reason why men stonewall is the common one that we hear to avoid further escalation. And Jesus' peace, man, that's true. Because sometimes a woman them just go miserable on you. You that sometime, man. Preach, Pamo. Yeah, man. Me I tell her the truth, man. Sometimes when honey decide for roll like thunder and flash like lightning and plow like tractor, you have the only thing I can do is take for myself, be gone. Let me go upstairs. I go lay down and relax until me see her. And later on, me just go nice her up. Honey, girl, see you're nice though, you're alright. Just now she said nothing more. Watch her. Yeah, yeah. Lady Peace, it dismisses the feelings and exactly, that's it. So it's always about you being selfish, dismissing the feeling of the other person. Because the truth is, me going upstairs and I try, so me avoid it, the escalation. In reality is that it's almost like me I say, me not value the conversation with my wife I have. And I don't see it as top priority, as something that needs to be resolved. Father, I ask for your forgiveness in Jesus' name. Only I ask for your forgiveness in Jesus' name. Yeah. So I am traveled. May I work on it? May I find a word? Yeah. Well, I'm traumatized by the action. Yeah. But the reality is that many of us men erroneously believe that by withdrawing, yeah, we are doing our part and we are doing the right thing. We are actually making things better.
But
And
you have in some cases with this whole avoidance thing, like men will try to find that safe space in the wrong places to kind of get the help
yeah, that's how
that
you
they think they need,
find one
and
next
so you
girl go
find
talk to, and talk about them. She's more open. So sometimes
And
Some
women know the right things to say. Because when a man goes to another woman, right? And she is going to listen to the conversation. She's going to nice it up and make it seem like, say, if it was her, she'd have done this or that. And
ah,
so he unknowingly sometimes is fed into that person,
thank
and
you.
so the avoidance continues to be drawn out and that kind of thing. So rather than communicating with your spouse to fix the situation, you're finding that peace outside, and so you have more
So
reason
this
to
woman
avoid.
becomes an escape.
Yeah.
So it's my way out when things get tough at home. It's my way out when I don't have my way. You know what I mean? And this then almost in all cases ends in separation or divorce. And sometimes avoiding you. Yes, the lady might let me find one that was yes the lady
Ah,
might that
so
word
lady peace say sometimes it's alcohol or some drug or something.
it, yeah, Shadi. She tells him, and that's why you can't leave now. You always hear some man say, you know, that woman the more understanding, that woman the more caring. You see, because what's
They're
what,
more caring until you start have a fling with them.
yeah,
Then you realize it's
but
the same thing happening over there. So too.
but that's what I'm saying. It's now you've fed yourself into that avoidance state that now you're seeing this person as my way out, my escape. If I need to feel good, I'm talking to this person. I'm going to this person. And it fuels and energizes the moment, the motive to avoid your spouse, which then destroys the union completely.
And then talking about the drugs and the different things, it becomes a bad habit. Lady P is saying, and if you look at it, because you know that you have this space to escape, the very moment there is something coming up that you don't want to deal with,
You find
you
out, man.
just find that place and you just deal with it there.
Oh. So a lot of cheating then, that an infidelity begins with stonewalling. It's about not dealing with the issue and finding a way to avoid a space and a way and a person to avoid dealing with the real issues. And that is one of the reasons why we're hearing about this person, being more hot, being more nice, being more all of this, right? Very important that we assess and look at these things, people. It's serious. So we're looking at some root cause. So men, and that's why the reality is that, and me gonna say this, in a committed relationship, the person who is more likely to cheat is the man. And I think that it comes, no, it's true. Why me have to go honestly talk, man? No, me have to come talk on the man, but no like defend the man. But it's true. Why? Because if we specialize based on what the research says in stonewalling, and we are the ones who don't want to talk about issues, and we always want to avoid, and we find somewhere else as an outlet. 9 times out of 10, you're destroying the bond in the relationship. You're destroying that intimacy between yourself
Yep.
and the spouse. And almost, listen to me, 98% of the time, that relationship is going to end. All right? And it's going to end because of that. And one other thing with that follows up with stonewalling is blaming. So now after I've completely escaped, try and create my route of escape. Now it is the woman who I may have left. Or the woman, she too miserable, she too this, she too that, she too this, she too this. Very so you don't know me like defend the men them already.
Lady P
And
say we already know about the man them behavior.
but like, but I don't like to throw my fellow brothers under the bus. Big up yourself, Lady Tiffany. Big up yourself, schoolmate. How you do? Yeah, man. Speaking facts indeed. Lady Paula is saying that
That the
woman
woman is not more caring. She's just appeasing the
appeasing to the
person's
person's
emotion.
emotion. That is true. That is true. And and a man will find himself giving everything to this person and taking everything from his home. And so, you raid your home so as to give everything here. and in the end might end up losing every single thing because you lose house and then you realize that this relationship was only a Ponzi scheme. And so I think what we are saying to persons today is to recognize that one of the root thing is yes, biologically we know that we are more likely to stonewall, but since we know, what are we going to do about it? What are the steps we're going to take that we can guarantee that we break down these walls? So having a diagnosis is not a bad thing, right? Early detection save life. Early detection save life. If you realize that this is a problem that we have biologically, well, make a concerted effort then to have the conversation rather than walking away. Tell yourself, I am going back. You know what? I realize that, stonewalling might come naturally, but my response, I can learn it and I can perfect how I respond to this thing. So there's always something that we can actually do about the situation before it gets to that point. Let me look at this.
Oh, yes.
Sure. Big up to you and wife. Blessings. uh, Lady Kedin, so good to see you. Blessings, man. Welcome. All right. Stonewalling is a form of fear and anxiety. And I may say it starts there. Really. Look at it again. That and we're going to look at some things that stonewalling does to a relationship. And I want you to look. So watch this. When women stonewall, it does what? It frustrates men. If my wife ever try to avoid me for 2 minutes, me mad. Yeah, man, me mad, man. Girl work that day, they are not teach good, none at all. Can I avoid in business at all? No, not upon that. But look at this. When men listen, when men stonewall, it can truly hurt woman, which is different. My frustration, yes, I might be frustrated, but for a woman, it is pain, it is hurt. She is saying, because women make a decent investment emotionally in a relationship. Sometimes, even when the relationship just starts, a woman may invest more emotionally than that man, to be fair. She's going in all in, and she still have the Cinderella dreams of waking up in awe, going to bed in awe, being able to dialogue and to enjoy, life with an individual. So it means something when we stonewall. I think having this kind of background then should cause me to realize that loving my wife should cause me to want to, at all times, even when me feel like me not want to do it, I must make that effort to make sure that we resolve the thing. Because why? Stonewalling is promoting hurt. And the truth is, if you love somebody, you don't want to hurt them. You know? You don't want to hurt. You don't want to hurt the person you love. So why would you find yourself and enjoy yourself in our next woman arm while your spouse over there ball?
Carrying at the bar.
Yeah. Why would you want to be in the bar drinking rum? Or driving your car fast to go crash? Knowing say if you're dead, your spouse are going to even have a greater broken heart. Because in their mind, they're going to live with guilt, thinking that they are the ones who have caused this. See, so I think there can be no relationship that survives without us becoming other centered, focus on the other person. My goal as a spouse is to try my best to promote my wife's interests, support her best as I can. Right? And just because me did turn so, no mean me have to stay so. I can learn. You see, that's the beautiful thing about information. It's a beautiful thing about places like the Couples Corner. It's about help putting myself under the lens, the microscope. And as I recognize these spots, here are some things I can do to resolve the issue. Right? Shouldn't want your wife to hurt, my friend. And that's and guys, may I talk to the man them, let us not consider the wife them tears cheap. Tears mean hurt. Yeah, it's serious. It's a whole heap of emotion that going on them tears when you see it come down. So you should be feeling good with yourself. All right. Men Stonewall is different. Men Stonewall is like rocks. If the woman crying blood out of your eyes. If still
Still
Stone,
Stonewalling.
and
Because he's trying to prove a point.
yeah, it's selfishness, you know. It's about trying to promote against me and the man that you know something important. And but man, we don't have to do this. We don't have to do it. Why Chinel me I do this presentation
Because
tonight?
it's necessary. Shade says
Oh,
it's act now and think
thinking.
later.
Right.
After the hurt and the pain and the
Right.
wounds and everything, you think.
So some chocolate could avoid buying. I mean, I'm not against chocolate buying, but some chocolate could avoid could avoid buying.
Listen, try to buy me the chocolate, you know. Uh-huh.
My girl, I know every chocolate means we are trying to avoid it.
Listen, if you come with a chocolate, may I evaluate before we accept.
Yeah, evaluate. That's all right, no problem. And that's what I talk about tonight. We're going to evaluate everything.
So if the motive wrong,
Well, you're going to know, because you're going to know, so me probably vex, and right now I try sweet, not try sweet.
I don't want it then. Chocolate, see, they say chocolate won't help.
Chocolate oil, now me find something else. Remember, man always smart enough, we can find something else. Yeah, men find it easy to stonewall though. Then don't think about the consequences. No, and Tiffany, you may have come on a little later, but I mentioned that biologically we're like that, and also socially we're like that. The Western culture has caused us to feel like we must. You see this whole thing about enough girl have enough girl in a bungle. It's a way of not having respect and just recognize the dignity of a woman, really. And so that thing is weaved into our boys, and they become men with men men with crosses. And so unless that man recognizes that there's crosses and decide I'm going to take steps to correct it, then what you're going to have is serious issues. I think my father-in-law told me years ago, and I've thought about this already. Um, man's, that day, man called me and himself, Robdon, hear me no man. Hear me no man. You have to make up your mind. She's either your wife or she's not your wife. And she can't be a part-time wife. She has to be a full-time wife. And that's in every situation. Yeah. And so sometimes we need that voice of reasoning. Because every time you avoid thing, you know what says 10 minutes of the marriage that you give away? Hold on. When if persons understand that you're married to live forever and enjoy the marriage, when you know say certain things that are just on earth and I go enjoy it, hold on. Them don't talk. Heaven have none of that up there wait for you. So I just down there. So so 4 day and 5 day and 1 week is you giving up out of time that you should be benefiting and enjoying
yeah,
the
spending
company
time with
of each other. And I think we need to recognize the importance of that. Because the reality is that, you don't think you cheat your spouse if you go vex with her 1 month and then go dead after.
Jesus, God.
That's a big old cheat because you promised to love her, until death do us part, right? So she signed up an investment contract to have a serious relationship for the rest of her life. So stop denying the person of such wonderful relation.
No man not on here tonight.
So want to call me?
So the woman them have to go give the information to the men.
Pass on the message, give the man them know. Women are emotional beings. That's true. Chocolate won't help me.
So if we vex about something, we want to vex if it settle, and then we move on.
Yeah.
Not you running away
And avoid. Yeah.
and then making it go into the other day.
But sometimes some women facilitate that. They like to be, listen, all when there's a night, that's why I'm not believing in something about makeup sorting out. No, me not believing in that. All when you do some sorting out and all these things, it don't suffice.
It doesn't solve
you
the problem.
Still need to, because you're going, what caused you to get there in the first place? So you still live it. All if you not got delay, the vexation, have some good time. the problem is
It's
unresolved
like
and should be settled.
Shade is saying the gift better come after the conversation. So it's like, oh, you're going to sort out, but we need to talk about it too.
Thank you. And that, and I think sometimes women aid and abet, them just want. I think that brings them some sense of assurance. Say it now happen again, and then it becomes culture. So, we let's deal with the issues, and I think that's the point I'm trying to drive home.
Lady P is saying stonewalling births resentment too because that partner who is being ignored is carrying that unresolved hurt.
Of course, and that's where women come from and start feeling like objects. I'm not important. I'm just that toy, that person you call upon when you want to be satisfied. You nice me up. It's like how some woman just knows that anytime some man a go and nice something them want. It shouldn't be like that. Let's move on.
Yes, the
Uh,
vex must be resolved.
Vex must be resolved. Thank you. The makeup really doesn't solve the
Yeah.
problem. It's another form of avoiding, if you would. It's another stonewalling. So we do this in the interim, but there's still a root cause that need to be addressed. It's something
Lady Andrea said something.
we need to address.
Stonewalling also take away from growing the relationship, also cause trust to be broken.
That's where it is going to go because all of those things are recipe for destroying the relationship. When men
Well, men start talking.
well,
Hmm.
honestly,
The man them need to start
but may I
talk.
lead from the front. Like I said, when I saw this topic that come from Chinel for us to talk about tonight, I see guilty. Well, no, not as bad as in the past. Yeah,
Not as.
not as bad. I'm still a work in progress. Cause me tell you already, so sometimes I nice you up just so you know. But I argue. All right. Um, so it's important to talk. Yeah, and the truth is sometimes, we just don't want to have that difficult conversation. It's true. I think sometimes I'm good at that. I'm good at this. All right. I'm just give Jesus
The
scripture.
band-aid not going to help.
Me just give Jesus scripture.
You remember you remember that night when I was doing the video? One year we're doing the I was doing my what do you call it? The year vision board and the laptop. But anybody know the Apple laptop or it's big and thick and heavy and it dropped on my toe. And I remember that night I was bawling out. Me think me gonna lose my toe. And I had the bandage on it. And you said take off the bandage because it's only going to make it worse. And it's the same thing with this stonewalling. So the stonewalling is like putting on the band-aid on the thing to, to seemingly, get it better, but it actually going to make it worse because I realized that the longer the band-aid was on it is the longer it took to start having that, the coating to show that it's starting the
The
healing
clotting
process,
of the blood.
the clotting of the blood. Yes.
So healing not taking place. Um, and nature says things have to be exposed, for healing to take place. You know that. It's not avoiding and covering things up. I mean, talk about the cut by my foot years ago, where I almost made them cut off my foot. Yes, P. Is a learned behavior. That's why I said some socialization. There's two things that work: biology, and socialization. That result in Stonewall. Of course, our upbringing speaks to how many of us communicate. It's true. And I told you yesterday, when I talk about forgiveness, that me grew up in our house where we can't keep malice for 3 years and we feel like it's a batch of honor. And then when me got married to Daniel, we see some people deal with that, so we are next minute we see and I'm a kick. It is strange to me.
You
So
see them all pies me and kill me.
yeah, me say on it, them I go pies you and kill you, right? Because we have two different upbringing, you know what I mean? And so that's very, very, very key. All right, good. We love Wagwan. We'll keep the comments coming, guys. We love you talking back to us. Interesting. That studies show that when men stonewall, women heart rate jump. And when I saw this today, me I check my wife heart, me I look, me I check for heart by right hand side.
check other place when I have nothing to do with the heart. Go check heart.
Me I check heart on the right hand. I don't know if I have any. And where are the brothers? Because I don't only believe heart is on the left. I look for heart on the right, top,
It's
bottom.
on the right and the left.
My wife full of heart. Lady, please say, in many family systems, we see how the family relates to issues within the systems. Obviously. Excellent. Yep. Lovely. So, unbeknown to us men, stonewalling is emotionally painful for women. And I just want to reiterate that because I see it first. And
so it is very important to talk.
Yeah.
Talk.
And
don't wait until the other day because something going to happen again and it's going to get worse.
Yeah, true. If you know like Daniel want to do it right away. Yeah. Know why she like urgency so. Sure.
But listen, it better you get it over with and move on.
Yeah, it's true. So grow up believing it. Yeah, it is now. That's me. I told you that I couldn't malice for 7 years and feel like it's a batch of honor. When I see some people, me tell them, you know how much year I'm in a chat to that girl.
I feel good.
Feel good about it like an accomplishment. If
both won't talk, write and share the issue. Writing is another method of sorting out the issue. And we spoke about this last week with journaling.
Absolutely.
With the couple that came.
Thank you very much, Sunshine Kingdom. Welcome to the corner. Yeah, man. Journaling is a way. And we just need to deal with the issue. We need to deal with it. All right? Love that. So, hear me. So, it not only causes pain for women, it damages the relationship. So, whereas it's just frustration and annoyance for me. That's why we use words like you're nagging. Yeah.
And you're miserable.
And you're miserable because it's really
traumatized.
It's really frustration for us. Right? But hurt for her. That's why tears come when you say so. But yeah. Ballings proper. Oh, yeah, look so.
Yeah. Me ball?
No, me don't know. Because me don't know nobody again no trouble like that. Oh, yeah, that about. I don't know nobody again no trouble. Right?
Really?
But it's true. And of course, ultimately damages the relationship. Mm-hmm. So here are some things that I believe, some impacts that stonewalling will have on any relationship. One, it does escalate arguments. So here now, you're not being counterproductive really, because look at it. You're saying that you're trying to avoid the argument. That's why you're not talking. But 9 times out of 10, it is what caused the argument to escalate. Mm-hmm. All right? Very important that persons remember that. So a partner who refuses to answer can lead the other partner to see the engagement with more and more vehemence. Yeah? So the result is an escalation of the conflict and bitter feelings for both. So hear me. The wife aggresses to reconnect. If you write it down now. I want to have no. The wife aggresses to reconnect, and the man is more and more indignant by her reaction. So sometimes when a woman gets aggressive or reconnect, she'll try to reconnect. Whenever see the internet and you see something now, a buffer, buffering, trying to find network. And sometimes you hear no network found. And that happens with the man when them not respond. You only hear no network found. So 9 times out of 10 when a woman miserable, I try to fix the relationship. She's trying to reconnect. She's trying to say, value me. She's trying to say, I'm still here. I'm still special. Hey, are you taking note of me? I'm over here. I want to be taken care of. So just remember that. All right. So deal with those arguments. And that's a good time to offer a hug, but don't offer the hug to avoid. Offer the hug to converse. Find resolution.
Yeah.
Number two, um, so stonewalling leaves problems unsolved. I think we have said that many
Yeah.
times.
I think Lady P just said it too.
Hmm?
So it's like packing it under the rug.
Yeah, right. So it keeps getting swept under the rug until the rug gets pulled off it. At this point, it could destroy the
Destroy.
relationship. Those
So those
words,
words are used to intimidate the woman to shut up.
and maybe
Maybe
not
not
intentional,
intentional.
but
Sometimes is
sometimes.
intentional.
Oh yeah, but Lady P, sometimes a true man. So sometimes the woman is just nah, so nothing. Yeah, I'm move on. So checking out prevents any possible solution to problems, and if anything, it precipitates them and snowball the problem. All right. So hear me. We need to handle these things. Another impact of stonewalling is that it
Lack
leads
of
to
intimacy.
emotional disconnection. So, with one partner fails to fully engage, there can be no emotional
No
connection.
connection.
So, so a woman can satisfy a man, but feel emotionally unsatisfied. When the woman them, they want to talk to me, tell me if I true. Tell me. Tell me. Tell me if it's true. A woman can nice up the man, feel satisfied. No, let me know. Let me know. No, tell me.
I think we're freezing.
I think we're good. Watch Lady
Miserable
P.
is not the right word.
So Lady P, a true me attack can satisfy the man, but still feel emotionally unsatisfied, disconnected. She said yes. It's true. All right. So emotional connections are the bedrock of any good relationship. I don't care how you speak in tongues. I don't care what else you do. You can take someone on all the cruise in the world, to every hotel in the world, eat all the nice food in the world. But where there's no emotional connection, that relationship is an empty castle waiting to be destroyed. And so we must make a concerted effort to ensure that we're building intimacy. Listen to me, going on all the vacation in the world doesn't mean you're building intimacy. See, eating at every restaurant in the world doesn't mean you're building intimacy. And just because someone stays home and prepares creative meals and spend time together, lay down in each other's arms, doesn't mean they are not intimate and that they don't have that emotional connection. So, there's the emotional connection is necessary. It is the fuel. Listen to me.
So it's not just doing then, but really being in it all over. Like the motive and everything must be right.
Yeah. So emotional connection is like gas. No matter what price gas be, it's necessary for the vehicle to run. So we must ensure that we
A
engage
lot
in
of
this.
couples have brother and sister relationship. But it's so serious because you have persons who the children might take the place of like create the space for the avoidance. So it's like you're always dealing with them and avoiding your partner and that kind of thing. There's so many things that can
Babes,
happen.
me see, if you have a car, no matter the price, I guess. Still a buy gas, you know. Even if you have to take out a loan to get gas, you will get gas. You know that? You'll not just let the vehicle sit there and not have fuel.
Same thing with your marriage.
Wow. So that means in emotional connection, it doesn't matter what it costs. So if it costs talking, conversation, discussion, whatever is the cost, one must be ready to purchase this good thing so that you can have good relationship. Read my
Read
comment
my
tab.
comments. So the comments the man sometimes can't tell because in his mind the woman forget about the situation that he has avoided. Mm. May not forget so easy.
I think they
So
know.
make
I
that
think they
easy.
know. You know, them are fool themselves.
Uh-uh.
I think them know say woman now forget. Because if anything I know about a woman is that them are gonna revisit sometime in the future. So I guess the faster is better. Deal with it now so we can move right along.
Teacher said me wake up now.
So important, guys. So emotional connection is the fuel for the vehicle called marriage. Me can tell you, you know, no can fast and pray all you want. It does not mean that you don't need emotional connection. There are some people who fast, pray, preach, jump, shout, and scream, and still relationship falling apart because there's no connection. You know what I'm saying? You can decree and declare all you want. The devil shall not destroy this marriage. Please understand, when it's all done, there's still a need for you to invest in emotional connection. Buying all the Jezebel you want,
And communication is key.
but you must build that emotional connection. But communication is a large part of that, Daniel. Large part. Let's run along because we know night to come and people want to go in bed. Stonewalling triggers a sense of hopelessness in women. Now, listen, man. Me say me sit down and I do my research this evening and me I said, Jesus. As me I look, me just I said, Jesus. I'm like, wow. So you have a lot of women who are in marriage who are living hopeless. And you're not alone. And the other thing that you need to also understand is that you're not abnormal. Can't you live your life and you feel hopeless? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Is hearing us? Is there anybody hearing us? Type in the chat and let us know if you're still hearing us while it's internet hack up. Comment.
We are frozen.
Okay, you guys are hearing us. All right.
I know.
All right. Please ignore the look of freeze up and thing. But yeah, let me
Oh,
just.
so we're freezing, but the audio is still clear.
All right.
Okay.
Please ignore the look of freeze up. All right. Good. Thank you. So it's serious that there are people in a relationship, wife in a relationship who is feeling hopeless. And you see, for us, you know, as men, it's almost like it's nothing. But for them, they are wondering if do I have any hope in this? Is this going to work? Is this make any sense? So sometimes a woman overthinking starts with a woman wanting to feel secure. And part of getting married is so you can feel secure. So a woman who doesn't feel secure because of this whole Stonewall business is always wondering if there's a next woman out the road. Is always wondering if somebody else has his attention over me. Is always wondering Am I doing something wrong? Me no look good again. Him used to, him used to be fond of me. What happened now? And so it's very, very important then that a man knows that when we bounce out of stonewalling and get into conversation, what we're doing is a form of reassurance. It is saying, woman, you are valuable, you mean the world to me, it's still very much important. As much as you am, you are still the girl I want to be with. So when we get out of Stonewall, it's a form of reassurance, building of confidence, very important. So when stonewalling becomes the norm, the couple loses the ability to talk and solve problems. So if you're in a relationship now and struggling, and I think Daniel, we have had those days where we just can't come up with no resolution, we can't come up with no agreement because we mix up perfect at stonewalling. I did have my PhD in stonewalling. And me have my and of course me have my ego to protect. I can't make you know say me a soft man, me have to make you know say I don't a chill on me come from me a real Dan Gargan.
You
But
hear this?
but had to face those real situation. I realized I need to get out there. I need to respect the feeling.
Sometimes the woman
Sometimes the woman
will
also
go
go
out
out.
and find someone to talk
No,
to.
that's our problem. Me not think I go touch a part, because that part, because
So, the man
because
them can go talk
no,
to
it's not that.
somebody, but woman
No, it's not that. That's not what we're saying.
What are you saying?
Because if stonewalling is to get your attention and stonewalling push you up, it defeat the it defeat the intent. Yeah. At that time we're gonna make you know we never really vex.
Mm.
Well, Lady P said the woman become a shopaholic. Me alright with her becoming a shopaholic, as long as that things she a buy.
Well, I mean, if you become a shopaholic,
Yeah, Lady P, a true man. No. When men stonewall, it's important to know that sometimes it's attention them looking. It's the truth. We we need that. So if you decide to now take that attention, go share somewhere, is a problem. Sorry, the man, right?
and Lady Andrea says stonewalling is not healthy.
It's not in any way. All right. So very, very important that we look at it. I'll tell you some types of stonewalling and we wrap up here. So we have the avoidance stonewalling. Yeah. We spoke about that at length. We have the defensive stonewalling. So this person, rather than deal with the issue, will provide a defense at all times. And most times we end up in what we call a blame game. So we start to blame persons and all of these things. We have the emotional overload, which we said that there are just some people who can't deal with a whole heap of things, and so they easily get frustrated, overrun, and that's why spouse must also be discerning, be supportive, know when it's just too much for the spouse, know when I need to give a little space, a little time, and offer a little support externally, while you on the other hand who is having that emotional overload. To be honest, like can we talk about this maybe at another time? And if you say another time, keep your promise. Come back and have that conversation. There's also the aggressive stonewalling, and and this one is mostly by women. All right, and this aggressive one is to try and reconnect. All right, we have stonewalling that, of course, escalate to arguments. We said we have the powerless stonewalling, right? But then now, what we want to look at as we close, because one thing with us, we like to provide some solutions to how we can deal with stonewalling. All right, so here are some steps for handling stonewall. So if you are the stonewaller or you are the person who is being stonewalled, we want to provide some tips that might help. So one, start softly. Okay, most men stonewall because they feel they are being overpowered by a barrage of highly emotional complaints. If you know nothing about man, if you know, but me not like when I just pure, me feel like I pure emotional. Is da 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 da. All right, so start softly. All right, and exercise that sense of understanding. All right, so men take longer to warm up, right, and often them need a little prep up. So you have to prep them up, right? So sometimes that's why you give them some nice something early in the morning. Yeah? Sometimes you cook them favorite meal and all them something there. The way to a man's heart is through stomach. So they say. Alright? You have to men generally takes a longer while to warm up. Women are ready to talk, men not so ready to talk. Sometimes you have to have conversation starters for the men. You know what I mean? To get them to go through. Let me see this. If the
Yes,
two
the two
people are
people are
hurting about
hurting the same thing.
no
No
store,
soloing is necessary. The people should work together, cry together if they have to.
that's a good ambition to have.
I mean,
All right. So talking always beats yelling, and the one who goes slow and steady wins the race. All right. So the person who is able to maintain composure, talk about the issues, focus on the issues, always win the race. Always remember that. Just anyone have too much excuses. But it's the Stonewalling.
mhm.
True that. All right, next. So the first one is to start softly. Second step is to repair and de-escalate. So when you see your
Escalate,
partner,
de-escalate,
de-escalate,
escalate.
escalate. Yeah, that's true.
Mm.
So when you see your partner begins to tense up and when he starts getting defensive, it's not the time, ladies. I'm not talking to woman now, because since a pure woman the point tonight. It's not the time to double down, as most women do. It is time to repair. So be willing to take a step back. A step back is two steps forward. Wanna hear me? A step back is two steps forward. Always remember that. Next, remember, do me a beg now. Remember the man them ego. Please. Remember the man them ego. Many men have a fragile ego. All when they preach and prophesy, them have a fragile ego. You can't just tell them it, you can't rough them up. Listen, man, women have a way for rough you up emotionally, some way make you feel like piece of breadcrumbs. So me I beg you.
Who is this? Shermuran?
Shamaron. I hope I get it
Shermuran.
right. Shamaron Reed. Men want to talk when they want to have their way. Yeah, that's really the avoidance part. I just look at,
And
yeah.
Lady P just coming in and thank you. Nice.
So remember with ego, please. Remember that we are fragile. We are some big man with some fragile thing. Deep down, everything we want to say and anything we want to say can hurt the feeling, but to help us. All right? It's like if a man breath stink.
Yes.
You can't just tell the man same breath stink. You have to be positive about it. It's like
Yes.
it's been positively.
Go and use some Listerine.
No.
Wait a second.
You have to find another way. I don't know what I would say. I don't know what I would say. Maybe I would say on.
Did you remember
Maybe
to brush your teeth this morning?
no, maybe you let him know say we are both going to, let let's
Let's go have a bath and freshen up.
yeah. Teacher, I don't know. I don't know if we be positive about it.
You just try to be a bit romantic and brushing teeth.
Yeah. Put on one special date night in the morning there. And part, part, part of the agenda is to brush brush each other's.
Teacher, your one never gonna work.
Hold on there.
You don't crush him.
Hold on there. Ego needs to be put aside. And
And
why?
talk like big people.
Shade, let me tell you this. Me can't tell you say when it come on to ego, no man and no big man. Me I tell you. Because sometime at the ego are the last thing we make with man. So yeah. Only if you get build a man.
Yeah, teacher say, oh, you be positive about that.
Me not try say me no know. Yeah, hello, please come.
Some would have said,
Why?
good question, teacher. No matter how it said, it means the same thing. Yeah, Lady P said, don't talk in my face. You can come up your face with the sheet.
But I just said, baby,
Babe, I notice your breath.
Them people are no master.
These comments are killing me.
Me, I'll carry you go brush it. If me feel like
Good enough.
well, I did you brush today. Lad, you might be discreet. Tell them the lady read, God. They don't know if we just take them time.
That's why, man.
Well,
Must not be so.
well, you were older.
No, sir.
That's why man must not be older father then. Lord of mercy. Lord man. Me no want Chanel.
Straight to the point.
Me no, please to tell Chanel no give me back no more topic where I focus on the man them so hard. Cause, sure.
Take time with them.
Take time with me. Sure. So here's a way you probably can do it. Teacher, a better way. Right? You can say that you love to kiss their mouth when it's fresh, right after the toothbrush. You know what I mean? So, honey, I just long to kiss you just right after the toothbrush. No, sir.
Don't talk in my face.
No, run. Your mind, you're going to know, boy. See? Tell you now. Tell me, I tell you. And all of we can glitch truth, sir. So beg you, protect your ego. Tell the truth. All right, next. Next point is to accept influence. Now, remember that influencing is a two-way street. That's something we need to remember. If you accept their needs and wants, they are more likely to accept yours. So a woman can lead from the front by recognizing and accepting what is it that a man need. And I think a couple weeks ago we looked at it. What is it that a man need in a relationship? What is it a woman need? If we know if you know what they need, you can accept that, and then as you do that, it might teach them that they can also accept what you want. So as much as you can, make it a communal problem solving. You must use word that we can call it. All right? Yeah. So just make sure that is what you do. All right, next point. You want to get to a place where you stop arguing. Most time we want answers but we are committing. Stop the argument. So if you notice that your partner stonewall, stop arguing because it will only get worse. Tell him you both need a little break and then agree that you guys are going to come back later and have the conversation. All right? But don't argue because it makes it worse. See what I'm going here? If a man is concerned about ego, why are they so out of why lady people, what are we concerned about ego? We just love going like we bad. Make sure they listen. Well, guys, good luck with that. Next, call a break if you're stonewall. All right, so that's one thing you need to do. So if it's you who stonewalls, please heed the sign, right? Knowing that if you keep stonewalling, you're also affecting the relationship, and it is only going to end up bad. Next, practice self-soothing. We can do this by affirmation. You know what I mean? Talk to me. You know, my wife go tell me say my mouth never smell good. Me tell myself, say, you know, I have the number one mouth. You know, at least I have 32 teeth in my head. And at least I'm still the one that she's madly in love with. Talk to yourself. That girl have cuss because she just want me, you know. She just want a piece of me.
No, sir. They still up on the teeth, you know, your lady Andrea. Invite them for a dentist date.
Well, that's a good one. Both of us should go and do a dentist date. Oh, God. All right, so men are more likely to think negatively about their partner during the break. So that may I admit. If a woman take a break, I must a man she have. If a woman walk out of the house for me, I must want man in go meet. That's how men are. We always associate bad to a woman who takes break. That is true. So those breaks, yeah, only make matters worse if you allow negative feelings to fester. So instead, it is paramount that you ruminate and truly take your mind to a neutral state instead. So the man them have to start retrain how we think, retrain what we say. It's not every time a woman gets silent, she have an next man. You have to tell yourself, say, yo, me are the Cadillac in the garage. Jesus, me are the answer to our problem. Jesus, is me make she smile. Me are the flavor in our champagne. I am the bee that produce her honey. Hallelujah. Me are the amen we conclude our prayer. And me are the salt we make for pot taste good. Oh Lord. And me are the fire we cook for our food.
Tidra says sometimes we're silent when we are tired of your behavior. And if you're silent on them, you know, man, a problem.
That's exactly what I just say. So this is where the man now needs to try and maintain positive thoughts, right? It's not every silent treatment mean to say, you know what I mean? Because some man get toxic through that, you know, and them all start think Alpha your boss call you something a go on. If you stay at work too long, something a go on. That's what breaks down to a man when they come on to the thing and them not expect you must think so, you know. Let me left the man alone tonight. Let me hear what Miss Reed is saying.
What if the lack of communication between is caused by spiritual manipulation and domination?
You'd have to expound a little bit more for me, Lady Reed. So I make sure I understand precisely what is being said. Because I don't know if there's spiritual manipulation. I just think there's manipulation. You know. Let me look at what. Oh. So give me a little more clarity, my sister. Faith connect. Sometimes we silent when we are tired of your being. It's true. But we don't like that either. That will make we feel like somebody else depend the corner. So let's cut those breaks, guys. That's a good thing. All right, so some good activities that you can do during a break is working, reading. You can take a walk. You can go, you know, yeah, listen to some music. Do something that really help you to steer you back to making the right decisions and sensible decisions. All right. Next, you must trust yourself and engage. What this means is that you trust that you have what it takes to handle emotional arguments. All right. And the more you do it, the more you become good at it. So that's something I just want to leave here. All right. I leave these final 1 and 2 points, and we're going to wrap it up here today. So remember, I said empathy. Empathy always go far away. All right. So while no one likes to be on the outside looking in on a situation, because really that is what, when someone is stonewalling you, you're actually on the outside because you don't know what actually about them. Right? So no one likes to be on the outside looking in on a situation. Yeah? We must attempt to recall that your partner is going through a similar situation as well. So what we're saying is that just like how you're on the outside, they're also on the outside of what you're thinking. So that because of that, right. So now you need to be understanding of their uncertainties and support them with your love. Next, be open to talk. Be open and not just be open, but be available to talk. Because some
Next
people,
time.
some people open to talking, but they're never available. I'm always busy. So tell your partner that you are free to talk. Give them a time. I'm going to be free to talk after dinner. All right. It is important here that you offer a supportive tone rather than a confrontational tone. Sometimes you just need to understand that a spouse don't want no confrontation. So nobody sound like the word with the M. All right. We now use no more M, lady people. Get the word for you. Confrontational. All right. That's the word. So that's something that you want to engage in. Third point, yeah, or the other point I'm adding is connect with each other. Remember, I spoke about the whole matter of emotional connection. So if you're starting to notice that the walls building between you and your partner, an option is to try and reconnect in a gradual manner. Take a moment to put the troubling situation on pause and do something that you both enjoy. Do something special the night day. That is not the night to put all the niceness on hold. That's the night, to build back some bond. Remind him what he's missing out on. Remind each other what they are missing out on. Communicate. Chat. We're all individuals and we are not going to see eye to eye on every given situation in our relationship, no matter how anointed and gifted. Both individuals in a relationship may have to work on developing more effective methods of communication. Work on leaning in, providing feedback and assessing your nonverbal communication. Sometimes you can say more with your nonverbal attributes. That's what I go. Rather than the things that you're actually saying. So be mindful of those. Next, try to avoid going toe to toe. Fight the temptation to match your partner's emotion just to obtain a conversation from them. While this may get everything off your chest, like some people also they want to clear their chest, chat up the things, it may just add it to your loved ones, So you take it off of your chest and put it on film chest.
Mm-hmm.
And may further strengthen that stone wall. Next, focus on your self-care. A lot of persons are struggling because you haven't taken care of your own self. Yeah? So a relationship with ever building stress and tension can negatively affect your psychological and physical wellness. Ensure that you are providing yourself an opportunity to exercise proper self care. Lady P spoke some weeks ago about self compassion and all that, right? You need to make sure you do that. Engage in exercise. Make sure you eat properly. You can't resolve problem when you're hungry and stress out. Ladies, please, man, put your ear together. Nice up yourself same way. Jesus, although we vex, we still want to see one sexy wife in the house. We still want to see a wife who is, who is still smiling and keeping it real. All right. Next, pardon your spouse. We have to get to the place where we're willing to forgive. Yeah. So to mend the situation with your partner, you will need to absolve each other for your past complaints. Recall that pardoning encourages you, yeah, as much as your partner. So when you're gracious, yeah, it encourages your partner. The other thing that you need to do is to manage your stress. If it is conceivable, try to discover approaches to that, yeah, so that you can help to reduce areas of stress in your relationship. For some couples, it may revolve around the financial aspect of a relationship, which may need an adjustment on expenses and on providing additional financial opportunities to lessen the burden. So sometimes a man is stonewalling because he feels as though he's not taking care of his family. So maybe if you start to address some of these stress builders, then you will begin to see those stone walls being destroyed. So others may have stress in how we raise our children, our interaction with family. Some wives love butt out the man and give them one different instruction. And I've cut out that thing there. Yeah? Yeah. If you start to break down these stress builders, then it will build that natural attraction again. So make sure that there are clear guidelines set to eliminate the potential for argument, as both individuals must prioritize, yeah, and establish peace in the relationship. This is the part that Lady P come in. Make sure to talk to a therapist. We have the therapist lodge in
The therapeutic lodge.
The therapeutic lodge. You know, I want to say this because sometimes we don't. Christian people don't love counseling. Them think they must pray about everything. Praying is good. And by the way, praying is not fighting Jezebel and demons. Praying is talking to God. And it's really just trying to get an understanding of what God wants you to do. 9 times out of 10, when you pray, God intends to give you instruction, feedback. It's something that you need to do. So, because you pray about the problem doesn't mean that God don't want you to get up and apologize. And so sometimes Christians feel as though, and that's why, the research shows that Christian relationships are more likely to be destroyed. And this is not just because the devil fighting you more than anybody else. That might be true, but it's not the only reason. It is that sometimes we aren't practical enough. So praying does not mean I don't go and apologize. Praying does not mean that, there's a stone wall being built and we break it. And sometimes Christian couples can be some of the most selfish people. So I'm talking about Christians tonight. We need to get to that particular place where it's no longer about us. We need to be a good neighbor to our spouse. Very important that we practice these things. All right. So we know that sometimes in the Christian community, we can be very anti-therapy and anti-counseling, right? But, we need advice. We need the support of others. We need the wisdom of others, right? A counselor is perhaps a person who knows that there's a problem down the road. And they might be able to give you some tips to avoid that problem, right? Why not listen to that person? That person is the person who is a signage person. Listen to them, right? You might avoid some repercussion further on. Tell us thanks later. Praise the name of the Lord.
You need to read some of them comments.
Yeah, let me take some comments.
Go.
So, Yes, sir. Me like this lady P. Wear the sexiest things when he's stonewalling. And when yes, yeah man, I make some bad bend over. Sorry, did Pastor say that? Glory. Yeah, man. Lean
And
over.
then you don't get nothing.
Don't get nothing. Girl, you have to put in the investment. We can't tell her this. No vexation cause no man to stay away. So that's listen, we will make up any day for that. Glory. Hallelujah. No, no taking breaks before we have it out. Ta, then go take your break. That is
But
Omar's
but the,
mantra.
but it but you see the break that we're saying here is sometimes if you address the situation right off the bat, like because
Yeah.
of the anger and everything that is being built up, it might not come across the way that you want it to come across. So if you just for a moment just calm down and try to get your mind right before responding, I think that's more what is
Yeah, you have to respect your emotion because remember you're real somebody, and your emotion, listen, if you're reacting, it means it have an impact on you. And so you're not going to deny yourself because sometimes you really can't talk about it right now for true. So it's best that you get yourself together. It's good if you can do it. I admire that. But there might be some situations that are so
some
complicated.
of us.
Yeah. That we need a space so that we can hear out and say the right things. All right. So that's true. What if you vex and can't talk? Well,
And that's what that would have been relevant for that situation, Lady Anne Marie.
yeah, sexy up yourself, Lady Anne Marie. You know have
And
to
that
talk.
may talk both it
Yeah,
in a little
me
bit
know that.
section.
Yeah, lady, yeah, that's a part of it. Yes, just sexy up yourself and you don't have to say nothing. Just yeah, man. Sometimes you can't talk in other ways. But as we say, take those breaks. 'Cause you want to be in control at all times. All right. Um,
Don't ever talk about the issues at dinner.
yeah, let me go back to what Shema Reed said. Spiritual attack from
From other
other
partners.
that got involved in one of the partners. Like, well, I just think this is, yeah, there are persons who, yeah, well, depending on what is attack, it could be that persons are encouraging the separation or, the distancing and all that. A relationship is about both of you. And I think that's what you want. You want to at all times steer back yourself to. It's about you and I seeing a wall that is being built and decide that we need to get rid of these walls and we're going to take the steps to get rid of the wall so that we can live together in peace and harmony. All right? Yep. No girl, but we speak about everything so he will know what I'm thinking. As I think,
I guess
it
this is
comes out.
responding to Tidra. Should they appear Bunja?
Appear. Caliph.
But Lady P is saying don't ever talk about the issues at dinner.
Um, I suppose I need to hear. Lady P might need to give us
Because
some more
me
information.
always hear them say, well, that they always use the opportunity to talk them time.
Yeah, because the whole idea of a dining table is not just for eating, it's a time that you come together and sit down and really converse.
Probably some people appetite might be messed up.
Really?
I don't know. Probably some people appetite. That's why Lady P is saying that. I don't know.
Yeah, well, let's see what Lady P can give us some more as to what she's saying. If the spousal partner is willing to talk, or who this say Ben? I want to talk about Ben over in our church. Yes, Tidra, you have a nice upper thing, man. Sometimes all it takes to break down some stone wall is a bend over,
It's a
Just,
real man, Lady P. Hey, Jesus.
all it needs is a little sexiness, and we can
You
make up.
see him can't come on bed with
Every
you.
way I say, girl, then say I say thing go nothing nicer than to be attractive to the spouse. Ladies and gentlemen, last point I'm making, and this is where we're done, is to evaluate if this relationship is what you want. I think everything comes back down to, is it worth it? What do I want? Because when you're in a relationship, some people check out long time. That's the truth. Daniel, you'll recall that we were counseling a couple um, in recent times, and me say after me do about 3 all-nighter. I talked to the young lady who said why she reached me because she had tried to save the relationship. After we done with all of the all night, the young lady admits that these are something she need to do, but here me not do them. Listen to me now, man. I feel like a bag of banana chips because me say me I go to work every day. Plus me have PV, plus me have all of the other things that I need to do. And me a bust all night and try lick sense. And in the end, me all hear. Yes, there may are some things me need to do. Me agree, but me not do them. So the reality is that sometimes we have checked out of the relationship long time. And you might need to check back in. What does relationship mean to you? What is your objective? What is your aim? What is the reason why you're stonewalling? Or, you know, do you really want these walls to come down? Are you interested in getting the walls down? Or you just want them to stay up?
Come back.
Yeah. So that's it. You have to evaluate and look at your relationship and look if you really still want it. And if you really still want the relationship, put in the work. Remember what I said, that every relationship needs emotional connection. And if it run out of oil, your vehicle run out of oil, no matter how much oil costs, you're going to get oil. All if you have to borrow from your mother. So whatever you must do to build that emotional connection, that is what is needed, because what Stonewall does is create emotional disconnection and pushes you apart from each other.
Tandere. You been over till you're stuck. They will take up their keys and drive out.
And somebody, I want to call for one truth.
To really love a woman, to understand her, you gotta know her deep
Talking
inside.
about breaking down
Hear
Stonewall.
every thought, see every dream, give her wings when she wants to fly. And when you find yourself lying helpless in her arms, you know you really love her. You love a woman, you tell her she's been wanted. When you love a woman, you tell her that she's the one. 'Cause she needs somebody to tell her that it's gonna last forever. Tell you really, really ever loved a woman. But you really love a woman, let her hold you until you know how she needs to be touched. You gotta breathe her, really taste her, so you can feel her in your blood. When you can see your unborn children in
This
her.
is where we're. I think Lady Andrea has just signaled that we need to go to bed. Well, Lady Andrea, if the man they drive out, you see, him check out. him check out of the relationship a long time. Tell you that. him check out. But then I run there see first kind of joke. Ladies and gentlemen, we have had a great discussion tonight. Thank you very much for your contribution. I think I hope that we have done a handsome job at at looking at stonewalling. As I said, at first glance of this topic, it might look like I'm not talking about myself. But then as I look at it even more clearly and just realize that it's any form of and you see as human being we actually do it like just we have a way that we just do it. Maybe not as intense as with some persons, but um, we really need to ask ourselves is, am I just trying to avoid the issue? Am I just not talk up to the issue? I'm not doing this. We really need to look at it. And so I think that all of we can admit some form of involvement in this. Maybe to the degree it might be different, but we need to make sure that we work on these things. And the goal of looking at our lives like this is to improve our relationship and become better at what we do. And remember, it's like I said to someone this evening that you know what, God never called experts to look at issues. God always calls some novice, and then because somehow I believe the novice is teachable, and the novice is also on the road practicing. So I am no guru, relationship guru, but I believe that there are a lot of lessons that I personally have learned over time. And some of what we have shared tonight may not apply to you, but
Hey, God.
listen to me, man. That man then need to go in a naughty corner, guys.
Not a really rejection.
Guys, remember to subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit the like, hit the love. Make sure you give us some likes for the video, and thing, and share it with others.
A
You know,
lady D for me, the side comments and the looks, brother. Wee.
well. Ladies and gentlemen,
Guys.
yeah, God bless you. I'm handing over to my lovely wife
What?
to pray us out and give us those awesome closing remarks. Those are royal.
The royal what? Come. Let us hold hands as we.
Oh yeah, smell so.
We want me to the front.
You look extremely excited. I want to. You know what
What do you mean?
At 10 minutes past
Right now,
12.
I'm ready for my bed. Me excited to go on my bed right now.
Oh.
See how me I fight this asleep, yeah. Oh boy. Let us pray. Lord, we thank you for this platform that we can come, we can talk, we can laugh, but really get down to reflecting on matters that are crucial to causing our marriage to thrive. God, we seek to glorify you in our marriages. And so, this topic that we reflected on tonight, stonewalling, I pray that as we look into our own lives in our relationships, and not just marriages, but relationships on a whole, that we'll be more cautious in dealing with matters and not build walls and create that kind of avoidance to cause a relationship to deteriorate, but that God will be able to really go forth and making amends. We'll be able to communicate, we'll be able to empathize with each other. We'll be able to make right choices as we seek to go forward. Even as the laugh continues to bubble in some of us, I pray, God, that even so the facts will bubble in our hearts as we seek to apply the right actions today for better. Amen. You just disturb me while I'm a prayer.
No, listen, Miss Reed.
Oh, she said something.
So when him walk
And
out.
there's something still the fire. You know the make like my prayer. That's really bad.
Guys, get out of Stonewall. And nobody please don't walk out on anyone.
Yeah, Lady Andrea say get one of those country hammer and lick it down,
And
brother.
need a sledgehammer. Ladies and gentlemen, pleasant night to you all. It was always a pleasure shared with this wonderful community. Thank you guys for logging on and engaging in such a
See, they
fruitful
make it so
conversation. No make it so
nice.
easy. I'm nervous enough what to make it so easy.
Put Rev in at the corner. In need for going at the corner for true.
Yeah?
That's
Hey, you
really
must want
bad.
me, you want to walk, I walk, you want me walk out.
Walk out, go away. No way, I walk out. When you walk out, you not come back, come find me. So you must know.
Ladies and gentlemen, God bless you. Love you all. Remember to join us tomorrow morning for positive vibration. Yeah, morning devotion, 6:30 in the morning, 7:30 EST. And if you're in UK, it's going to be at 12:30. The Lord bless on them. I'll be joining in tomorrow in the comment section.
Yeah.
As you all continue to lead and lift up the name of the Lord. That said, ladies and gentlemen, me feel like me just extremely excited today. So me I'll smile from ear to ear. Me don't know what going on.
Evening at a prayer. May I try
Ladies,
to giggle?
remember to like the video. Remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Tell somebody to come back. Next week we'll be joined again. This time by a couple as we delve into some, hear what persons are doing and what tips they have for handling various situations in marriage. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we just want to wish for you a blessed rest of the night and morning for those of us who are there over here. So God bless you and take care. And so now again, take care.
I begin to begin to